Hi everyone, it's Anja here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Crafts, and we are, yes, I'm sorry, still using timeless textures. It's just too good not to stop, it's just too good to stop using it, basically. Okay, so I have just made this card, and it is an entry for a competition. So hopefully, I don't know whether I'll win, but I am loving this. And the competition was as follows. So they gave us the outline of the card. So the card had to be 5.5 by 4.5. Then this had to be 4.25 by 3. And then the circle had to be 2 inches. And then you had to have, here, you had to have a little sentiment thing and then 3 ribbons there. So this is my take on it, okay? And I love it. I really do. And it is again that same technique that I've been using, throughout this series of timeless textures. And timeless it is, because this series seems to go on and on and on. I don't care, I love it. So, first of all, what are we going to do? We are going to decorate this little card here. So I have cut my card, that's the base card. Then we have the inside here, and then the first panel that goes there. So let's start with the inside and do the decoration of that. I also decorated the envelope, but I did that in the same way as I've done the envelopes for this series. So you can go and find that video, please. Okay, just some stamping here, and then we will put the swirl in. There we go. Okay, so that's the inside done, so that's ready for that. Then I have here this tool, and I'm going to distress my piece of paper with it, because the layout was so strict. I really wanted to do extra things. And this way I wanted to stand out, by doing things like this, because, it's when you get a sort of a set layout, you need to be different on other levels, because of course the layout is already decided upon. And I do this first. Then I distress it, but then I ink it, sorry, and then I distress it a little bit more, because that way you get extra dimension of your distressing. See? Okay, this bit we're not going to see really, but we might as well do a little bit. I need to flatten this a bit so it gets a little bit more ink. I just want to clean it. There we go. And now we distress a bit more. And I also daubed it a little bit, so it was a little bit softer. And look, this is a nice black edge. I love it. My desk is getting full of these little pieces of paper. Look at that. Never mind. Okay, then we are going to stamp this one on it. There we go. Okay, we need, and so that's our little piece of paper done there. Then we need to stamp this again, and we're going to cut it out. I might do that in a moment. I need to also do some more distressing. So we needed a circle of 2 inches. So I have here, can I get this out? Yeah. So that's my first circle. Then I layered it on mint macaron, and then I layered it on white. Now you're going to say, oh, but all those circles are the same size. Yes, indeed. I've only got that punch. So I cut them smaller. So I just went round, making sure I kept it nice and smooth and cut the same size off all around, and look, it's fine. You can't see that once you've got it all together. And so the here I cut off a little bit more. I wasn't so careful because I distressed it, simples, and that way I didn't need to be good and nice and smooth and all that. Just distress it. Okay, so there. So let's get rid of those. Then on here I stamped some of those dots. Okay, and then if you layer them, I need to cut off a bit more, I think. Look at that. It's not big enough. It's too big. So let's do the same thing again. I think you might have a deja vu. And distress it again. You can really go for it with this little tool. Okay. Yes, that's better. Look at that. Perfection. And then the next thing to do is glue things together. That would work, wouldn't it? There we go. So that is ready for that. Then let's cut this out. I shall speed it up a bit. Okay, that didn't take long. And so we're doing a little bit of distressing on the edges. Right, so that is put on with dimensionals, so it stands up a bit. So that's our focal point ready. And where is my, chuck it about. So we are going to not glue that down just yet. Oh my word, that was the right thing to do, wasn't it? Okay, so let's have a look first of all at our card. So this is our base card, and as you can see, I've done the edges. I've done the edges in my favorite little stamp. So let's do that. I'm trying to keep the stamp fairly clean because it might get caught some ink on the top and then you get a nasty line, but it's working out okay. I don't want the same thickness everywhere, so I'm deliberately going more off the page than elsewhere. Okay, so I don't want it equal. So that's that. Now we are going to glue on our piece of panel. Then we have our distressed bit of paper, and we are going to, let's put it upside down in a pot. We're going to put that on. There we go. And I did the same thing as before. I forgot the baker's twine. You see, I'm an expert at lifting that up because I did that and I was doing the card as well. Oh dear. Let's just go over it again and bring it back. Okay. It had to be 3 pieces of paper really, but I thought this was 3 pieces of string. It makes a nice little change. You have to be daring in these kinds of competitions, otherwise everybody does the same thing. So I thought I'm just going to put baker's twine. Right, so there's my little bow, and I have got my 3 pieces of string, and I am going to push this back down again, and I'm hoping that it will stay. It will stay down. Cut this off a bit. that's a bit too long. And in cutting off, I undid the bow. No, not really, it's still there. Phew. Thank goodness for that. And then our circle has to go just about there. And the last ingredient we need is the little sentiment, and we are going to produce that in a moment. So there we go. So that's that. There's the little bow. And now, let me just get some of this stuff out of the way. I am going to do the sentiment, and I'm using Because You're Awesome. Now, obviously, that's a bit bigger than the one. The sentiment that was allowed was only a tiny piece of paper. So I just cut it off, basically. And I cut it with scissors because I was going to distress it. So nobody's going to notice whether or not it was straight, basically. You know, the distressing tool is a forgiving item. A must-have. Skew it? Oh, just distress it. That will sort it. Oh dear, I just came up with that. Right. And then a little bit of distressing on there. And guess what? Our card is finished. So we have no inside. Yes, here it is. Okay, so let's glue down the inside. Then we have the front, and we just need to add the sentiment, and I'm just going to use dimensionals. Now it will be on and off this, so I'm thinking, let me just feel, yeah, I need a dimensional here. So I've got 2 dimensionals on my card, on my little sentiment. One is going to go onto there, and the other one is going to go on there, and then it's flat, see? Because you need the 2 dimensionals, because there's another layer that's already there with the other one, and that's where it's leaning on, so you need the second one. Okay, so here we are. I hope you enjoyed watching me make these cards. Like I said, it was for a competition, and I'm hoping to win. Well, not really. I just wanted to take part and see all the other people's entries, because if you're really sort of limited to a layout, it's quite intriguing to see what other people are doing with it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.